Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here, and today we're back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Today we've got ourselves a Terran versus Zerg. Actually the same Terran and the same Zerg as the last cast I did. This time they're playing out on the map Dusk Towers, so without further ado, spawning in the bottom left hand side of the map Dusk Towers, it is the blue Terran player playing for Team Envious. It is Polt. Such a solid Terran player going up against such a solid Zerg player spawning up in the top right hand side of the map. It is the red Zerg playing for Team Samsung. It is Solar. So we've got ourselves a straightforward map here as Dusk Towers with two very solid players. They can go for anything, but usually they're known to go for sort of straightforward styles, and they'll sort of just butt heads in their own unique way here. So since this is one of the larger, more straightforward maps, so we can expect a longer macro game here. And we're already sort of seeing the start of that as Solar goes for a hatchery first. He did go for the farther out hatchery, not opting to take his natural hatchery. And that's partially because it sort of gives you a bit of control having this straightforward out hatchery, but we actually see Solar here going, well, he was considering going very greedy for a second there. Actually, I guess just making sure there wasn't an SCV or anything with that drone, but he was considering going for 3 hatcheries before pool, but he did just elect to go for that later spawning pool. Well, for the quicker spawning pool, but he is going to be going for a 3rd hatchery. Meanwhile, Polt getting out this Reaper here, just going to be playing it very standard as far as Terran goes. A Terran is expected to throw up a second command center quick on this map, either a Reaper expand or a CC first, because Terran is probably the race that benefits the most from having a complete wall up at the top and a safe command center at the back, simply because it allows them to go for things because of how they can just hold with a wall off. Now we just see Polt going with this Reaper. Solar knows it's on the way because of his Overlord positioning here. He saw that Reaper. And now Solar did get up that 3rd hatchery, which is on the way. It'll be a minute, but since he did get that earlier pool, he will have Zerglings out perfectly in time to deal with this Reaper here. For now though, the Reaper's going to move in and see what it can get done. I'm just going to try to pick off anything. Maybe a Zergling or two is what Polt will expect to get. Versus a lower caliber player, Polt with his great Reaper micro could likely pick off a drone or two here and there. However, Solar is just going to be so on top of this, forcing the Reaper back with his Zerglings, microing them so perfectly. And now the Queens are out, so this Reaper is going to be forced back. Reaper now poking away here. Just trying to get anything he can done here. Trying to get into the base here. The Reaper's going around. Actually suicidal here, it seems, as the Zerglings are chasing it away. It's going to try to escape from this Queen here. However, these Lings have it in pursuit. The Queen on the low ground, the Queen on the high ground. This Reaper is trapped in the base. It's slowly picking off these Zerglings. However, the Queen is starting to shoot it, throwing down a grenade, trying to disrupt anything it can. However, this Reaper is still alive. Meanwhile, Polt getting up to stim his starport on the other side of the map. So it's impressive how these players are doing this without sort of skipping a beat here. However, this Reaper, it seems to be caught here. But it's going to go for yet another lap here. No, but it's turning around, going to try to escape. The Queen going to try to pick it off. Will it go down? No, it does not. So that was a scary story for that Reaper, who managed to pick off a whopping 2 Zerglings. But he got some great scouting information there. Polt knows everything that's on the way. The Polt possibly could have expected, as this hatchery wiggles a bit. The hatchery wiggles a bit, so hard to spot though as it's researching something. So Polt could know that this Overlord speed is on the way for Solar here. This Reaper now being chased away as these Zerglings now have speed here. And now these quick Overlords moving in, trying to get some scouting information off. Solar, though, doesn't want to throw them away, as he did get that Overlord speed. So he wants to be able to scout without losing these Overlords here. Meanwhile, Polt's just going for a double starport aggression build here. This is such a good build for Terran. It's just so aggressive and hits so early on, and Zerg, it has a hard time dealing with it because of the mobility of supporting medivacs here. Solar is going to get in and scout this, however. These Overlords are really seeing everything. Solar's seen the 1 barracks, he saw the Marines, he saw the medivacs, and he saw the starport. So Solar is going to know what's on the way here, and he is getting a baneling nest and making lots of Zerglings. Solar doesn't want to be caught off guard by this. he wants to be safe until he can get to whatever tech that he wishes to get to. For now, though, we see Polt dropping all his Marines at the front here. Solar moving out with his Zerg and wanting... Ooh, that's actually a bit of a misrally. Those Lings must have been sent across the map, just running straight into that Marine's fire. Now Polt moving forward, gonna try to clean up some creep here. There's actually no Banelings for Solar here, so these Marines... Oh, there are some Banelings, but they were further back, so now they're coming forward. The Marines are gonna be forced to lift off with those Banelings. So the Marines trading here and there, doing whatever they can, and now the Reapers actually come forward here. Meanwhile, Polt now getting up his 3rd command center. So this build isn't meant to kill the Zerg, it's just meant to put on aggression. He's cleaned up creep. He might actually scan again, but for now he's just pushing forward here, trying to get some damage done. But these Queens and Banelings forcing this army back once again here. We now see Polt picking off an Overlord, just continuing to get up his production on this side of the map. He's getting up more barracks. He's going to get up to that 5 racks. Polt does have his 1-1 on the way, whereas Solar's just getting his +1 Carapace. So Polt will have a bit of a scary army here. These two players are playing Heart of the Swarm style. By all means, Solar teching to mutas. Meanwhile, Polt's getting up to this bio and not gonna try to get some damage done while he can, abusing this mobility with the Medivacs. So Solar's gonna try to hang on here as long as he can. Ooh, Polt actually misrallying a Medivac there, so losing that. Fortunately, no Marines in that. So as I was saying before that, Solar gonna try to hang on until he can get up these mutas to shut down all the drops. Solar getting up a macro hatcher here. So Solar's happily macroing here. He's getting up centrifugal hooks. He's getting up this Baneling speed. This is going to be a classic Ling Bane Muta style here. And for now, Solar's doing a great job just using these Lings and Banes to deal with these drops until the Mutas get out. Polt forced back once again as he tried to poke at the front. However, Polt's such a good player, he's not going to fall behind. He's not going to fall incredibly behind trying to get damage done and not doing anything on his end of the map. So now Polt's getting up so much production here. He's just reactoring out Marines non-stop. Look at this. He's going up to 7 barracks on 3 bases already. This is pretty early. 7 minutes for 7 barracks. That's pretty early for a Terran player. So Polt wants to keep this aggression on. However, the mutas are now on the way for Solar, and Polt hasn't seen the Spire, but he can assume. Polt is a player who's played Wings of Liberty, the first Starcraft 2, then the expansion, Heart of the Swarm, and Mutalisk and Banelings and Lings were very common in all of this. So Polt's going to predict this is on the way. He's going to know, so he's not going to be playing it risky with these Marines. However, these mutas do fly forward, and he actually manages to pick one of them off. He's going to try to cancel his base. However, these units are sort of left for dead here, but they managed to pick off the 4th base of Solar, which is such a great trade. These Marines doing something before their inevitable death as the Mutalisk are now pursuing them. He might try to pick off a Mutalisk here and there. No mutas do go down. So Solar manages to defend, but he did get his 4th base canceled, which is some nice damage for Polt here. Polt also trying to drop on this side of the map, but so far Polt's killed 3 drones with all these drops. He's probably had about 3 Medivacs full of Marines, and he hasn't accomplished much. Solar now sharking around with these Mutalisks, trying to find anything he can. He will find these Marines. The question is whether he'll try to engage them or not. Although Solar does know his limits, so he is going to pull back with these mutas. But now Solar, he's got this map control with the mutas. He can shut down the drops. He's getting up upgrades here. He is a bit behind on these upgrades as Polt's getting his 2-2, whereas Solar has yet to get +1 melee attack. So Polt is going to have a scary ground army. He's just going to have to try and outmaneuver Solar here, try to kill him off by taking efficient trades versus Solar's ground army. Solar getting up this 4th base here. Polt just happily macroing. The mutas are on Polt's side of the map, though. They're getting some damage done. This is actually so huge. They managed to pick off the reactor on the starport. So Polt, instead of producing 2 Medivacs at a time, he's now down to producing 1, and he's making 11 Marines. 1 Medivac at a time is not really enough for 11 Marines at a time. Polt's actually going to float over this starport to get a reactor on it right away. He doesn't want to miss this production here. So now that factory going to build a tech lab, so this means Polt might actually go for Thors here. Polt is one of the few Terran players who's tried to deal with this late game Zerg style with lots of Thors. Polt actually having a Widowmine out there only killed off 4 units. If we look at the supplies here, supplies are somewhat even. Polt actually ahead in the army as he has less workers, but if Polt takes a bad fight, he can be in a lot of trouble here. Solar has so many mutas, so he can, if he controls this well, he'll be able to get great fights. If we look at the units for Polt, he doesn't have well, he has 3 Widow Mines, but that's not really enough. So Polt's going to need amazing splits here. He has almost 80 Marines here. And this can just kill absolutely everything Solar has if a great fight is taken. But it seems Solar doesn't want to fight. He was trying to get a run by there with these Zerglings, but the wall was up for Polt. But now Solar, playing this so smart, moving in with the Mutalisk, knocking the wall down. The Zerglings are spilling in now that the wall is down. Polt trying to hold off with his reinforcements here, raising his wall to his main base so he can try to hold off there. Lots of these Zerglings going down, but Polt is actually forced back. Solar now going to cancel a 5th base of Polt. And Polt's entire push has been knocked back, and look at how stimmed this army for Polt is. He stimmed his entire army to pull back. And he needed to do that to hang on, and now Polt's been kept on 3 bases for an uncomfortable amount of time. Drop being cleaned up, that Widow Mine getting a shot off. Polt actually has a few Widow Mines buried here still. However, Polt's in an uncomfortable position here. If we look at this, he's up on supply, yes. However, he's kept on his side of the map by these Mutalisks, which are just terrors to Polt. And look at this, the Mutants coming in once again. There's just so many, so they shave off SCVs so quick. More and more SCVs going. SCVs running out into the middle of the map to try and get some protection from these Mutalisks. However, Solar, with such good control, is just doing so much damage here. But now Polt is saying, I've had enough. Polt with a 30 army supply lead because he's on so few SCVs. And Polt has an upgrade lead. He's getting to his 3-3 as well, so Solar hasn't necessarily gone for super quick Ultralisk like lots of Zergs do. However, Solar has lots of Banelings, 60 Banelings versus 80 Marines. Oh dear. Polt's gonna need a miracle fight, miracle Widow Mine shots. Decent Widow Mine shot going there. Widow Mine Banelings connecting with the few Marauders Polt has in his army. The Thor is going to want to try to eat as many Banes as he can, but Polt is running into the Bear's Den here. The Banelings, though, from Solar are all forced into this Bio Army, and this is the worst fight Solar could have taken. So many Banelings trading inefficiently there as Polt just pulls back. Banelings connecting with the Thor here, and Polt just dealt with 60 Banelings like it was nothing. He dropped an army supply. Yes, he's down on supply. Yes, he's losing his 3rd base here. However, he's killing off the 4th base of Solar here. It's sort of entering a base trade here. Now Solar's pulling back as he was in sort of a superior position here with more workers, with a better economy, but that's all disappearing for Solar now. He's going to lose all these drones here. He's lost all his bases. So really, both players are going to be down on no economy here. Polt mining less, though, but he can float over a command center, and he's doing that right now, so he will have a bit of an income up before Solar once again. And now Polt's been producing non-stop. Ooh, accidentally shooting his supply depot there. Yeah, Polt's saying, oh, I've lost so many units, I don't need that. So just a small misclick by Polt there. And now Polt's moving out with this sort of secondary army. Meanwhile, the main army from Polt is going to try to take a fight here against Solar. Solar engaging off creep, upper ramp. A terrible fight here for Solar. Just all his Banelings not really connecting, as Polt getting amazing splits. They're forcing the army back. Now the Mutalisk are forced to trade here with the Marines. And more Banelings, though, coming in. Gonna clean the rest of this up, killing off the Marines so the Mutalisk can rain down. However, Solar dropped so much supply there. Most of his Mutalisks went down. He had 20 Mutalisk or so there. Now he's down to only 6 here. Solar has just thrown away so many Banelings to the efficient trades of Polt. The creep has receded, and now Polt's just pushing in. He's not going to let Solar survive. Solar had started to tech to these Ultralisks, but it ultimately wasn't enough, and now Solar loses to Polt here. Polt just, such a tough position, managed to hang on there. Polt had lost so many workers. He had been forced down in the economy, but somehow, by Solar's mistake, and I guess Polt's amazing control, he just took such an amazing fight there. If we look at the resources lost, that is so cost efficient from Polt here. So very well played by envious Polt, managing to take down Solar. So thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed the cast, feel free to let me know, leave a like, subscribe, as I always try to put out lots of StarCraft 2 casts. If you actually have feedback, let me know, as I'm always trying to improve. Otherwise, see you guys next time.